You're listening to Paranormal Optimist. My name is Stephanie, and in this podcast, we dissect paranormal topics from the perspective of skeptics, believers, and everyone in between. At the end, it's up to you to decide. Are you a paranormal optimist? Hello and welcome to another episode of Paranormal Optimist. Today's episode is going to be picking up exactly where we left off last week. This is part 2 of my 2-part interview with Soluna Investigations. So if you missed last week's episode, you're probably going to want to go back and take a quick listen to part 1 before listening to this one. Before we say hi to Kayla and Jacob again, though, this is my weekly reminder that you can find out absolutely anything you need to know about Paranormal Optimist by visiting the episode description. There you'll find where to follow the show, all the places to listen if you want to share it with a friend, and a list of all the sources that I cite in any given episode. And as always, if you have an episode suggestion, a paranormal story to share, or if you'd like to participate in a future episode, send me an email at paranormaloptimist@gmail.com. I'd really love to do more interviews like these, so please send me those emails. Before we get back to our interview, I thought it would be on topic to start a conversation about modern ghost hunting and how that activity has changed and evolved to suit a growing pop culture interest. I did touch a bit on this topic during part 1 of our interview, but I'd like to expand on that. And just so we are all on the same page, this is just me and my opinions. This isn't research, so feel free to disagree. In the early 2000s, I absolutely adored ghost hunting shows. I particularly enjoyed the original Ghost Hunters, the one that used to air on Sci-Fi. It seemed to me like in the early 2000s, we saw this rise in an attempt to apply science, or the scientific method, to paranormal investigation. And that attempt, I think it legitimized it for a demographic of paranormal enthusiasts, these people who really wanted to believe but had trust issues. So basically me, but ghost hunting, it wasn't just for the psychics and the mediums anymore. It could be for people like me who didn't seem to have any extrasensory gifts, but were really interested in the paranormal. People who had heard enough anecdotes from trusted sources to wonder what the truth of it all could be. In the early days from this cycle of pop culture acceptance of the paranormal, because if you ask me, acceptance of the paranormal from a pop culture perspective, that does come in cycles. It's something I would like to address in a future episode. But during this period, the early 2000s, there was this huge fixation on debunking. The target back then, the goal, was to go into a place and prove that it wasn't haunted. The approach set up this situation where if you did capture and record strange phenomena and you could not debunk it or prove that it was something else, it made it incredibly compelling. Because back in those days, the vast majority of episodes didn't capture much evidence at all, if they captured anything. And they by and large were disproving or explaining away paranormal claims as misunderstood natural phenomena. So, whenever something uncanny did pop up, it was fantastic. It gave you goosebumps and you remembered it, even years later. Or again, maybe that's just me. But, and here's the thing, the secret got out. Pop culture realized that ghosts were interesting, and the paranormal was awesome. Suddenly, we weren't fringe nerds and conspiracy theorists anymore. We were the popular audience. Other shows popped up. Ghost hunting had competitors. Money was poured in, and celebrity guests appeared. And what do you know? All the places were suddenly haunted all the time. All the cases had orbs and EVPs and shadows and all the things that were so amazing in the early 2000s due to their rarity. Is the evidence now fabricated, or do we just have better access due to increased budgets and better equipment? It's hard to tell, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything. But for me, the trust died, and I couldn't enjoy the shows as much anymore. Apparently, I have a threshold of believability, and correctly or not, I lost my ability to suspend disbelief. But what do you think? Do you think that there's anything at all that we can take away as legitimate evidence from modern ghost hunting shows? Are there any truly compelling recent additions to the field that I have missed since those early days? Let me know. Send me an email and we'll continue this conversation. So, with that out of the way, here is what you can expect from part 2 of my interview with Kayla and Jacob from Soluna Investigations. Today, we will learn how to get started as an actual paranormal field investigator. We'll also talk about some of the most important things to keep in mind while investigating. We'll wrap up the chat today with a deeper discussion about Kayla and Jacob's worldviews and how that plays a role in how they approach their work. Let's dive in. Do you think that you find one more than the other, like our residual? Is that type of interaction more common, or is it just kind of like mixed bag?
That's a great question. I will say, honestly, most of the time it's an intelligent response.
Oh,
I
interesting.
think the residuals are saved for really traumatic events.
Okay. Well, that's kind of good that they're not super common then, in your opinion.
Yeah, because usually it has to be something pretty awful.
Yeah, I guess
Right.
I wasn't really thinking about it that way. So I guess it's good because, you don't want to think like, oh, all of these traumatic, awful things are happening at all of the places that we visit. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who are looking to get started with investigation? So I consider you to be an expert, just so you know. So whenever I meet an expert, I always want to know what is their advice for people who want to do what they do.
I guess like the best advice for starting, really anybody can join.
Mm-hmm.
Start small, have an open mind. The odds of running into something so mind-blowing in your face probably won't just happen.
Sure.
But like equipment can get very expensive.
Yeah.
So like normal EMF readers or thermometers are pretty accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just you could start there. Cemeteries are free.
Yeah.
I would say a really obvious thing is to just
Mhm.
start. Just start. If you want to do
Yeah.
it, just do it. And like Jake said, equipment can be really expensive. It can get
Yeah.
really expensive. So just start small. EMF readers are like $12 on like Amazon for like a
Mhm.
cheap one. Like just get small stuff and go out there and just see what the world has to offer and be open-minded because you
Mhm.
are not going to run into anything that's going to, let's say, surprise you or shock you like you
Yeah.
think it's going to.
Yeah, you have to put in the time and you have to trust the process. Yeah, it's a lot like starting anything, I guess. And I think good advice is just start, like you said, like just start
Hmm.
somewhere. So I know that for the podcast, it's still very new, obviously, but yeah, there was a lot of time wasted by just thinking about it instead of just doing it. So sometimes we
Yeah.
need that push to just get started. And then once you start, I think it gets so much easier. Like, I think starting is the hardest part of doing anything. Well, maybe not the hardest part, but it is very hard.
Yeah, it is. Like the hardest part is just going over the mental
Hmm.
hurdles of like, can you do it? Is it, like
Yeah.
all the ups and downs of it? Just do it. Just do it somewhere small. And some of these places can be expensive to
Hmm.
rent out, but like once you
Hmm.
start doing it, the doors will just start opening to you. You'll find places, you'll meet people. Just start doing it. Just start anywhere.
That's great. Yeah, I love that advice. Yeah, you were talking about how, when you first get started, maybe you won't find anything, maybe nothing will happen. But what struck me about Bruce Mansion is there was just so much stuff going on. There were so many voices that I could hear. Was that a normal experience or a typical experience for you, or is Bruce Mansion just very special?
I would say it's pretty special.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, Bruce Mansion is very special.
we did
Yeah.
not plan for that much to happen either.
A
We
great
got
first
there.
video to have on YouTube.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we've been to other places with,
Hmm.
I would say, darker history,
Hmm.
and we did
Yep.
not get as much there.
Interesting.
Bruce Mansion was very much alive that day.
And
Yeah, they
I
were talking.
I don't know if you could hear it on the YouTube video,
Hmm.
but when we were in the basement, Jake heard footsteps. And then when we got to the main floor of the house, we heard those footsteps again on the floor above us. Now, there
Hmm.
was nobody else in the house.
Yeah, that must have been really
So
striking.
that was definitely a first time for me that it like takes your breath away when that does
Yeah.
happen because it's just like, oh my gosh, like there's nobody up there.
Hmm.
So it's like this amazing, exciting feeling.
It gives you chills.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I have chills right now just like remembering watching that. So I can't even imagine how it must have been to be there. I didn't have this question, but how long did you actually spend inside? Because I know you edit the video down and everything. So how long were you actually there?
So this
Um,
part's kind of wild. Um, we have done overnight stays that are like 8 hours long.
Wow.
But Bruce Mansion, we were only in there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it
Wow.
was a 50-minute video.
it was insane.
So you didn't really edit much out of that video then?
No, it
No.
was very
Wow.
hard cutting down.
Wow, that's amazing. So yeah,
It
because that's just what struck me when I was watching the video at first. I was like, oh, there's already something happening at like 2 minutes in, and then it just didn't stop. So yeah, that was really amazing. So that must have been, I can't even imagine how that must have felt to be there in that situation. I mean, how did you feel? Was it exciting? Was it scary? Or like, how did you feel?
I always feel excited.
Yeah.
It's like hard to explain. It's like a kid in a candy store kind of feeling. It's just like, wow, like
Yeah.
the awe of seeing something or hearing something
Yeah.
actually with your own ears or seeing something with your own eyes is incredible.
Yeah. It
yeah,
must be.
it, yeah, very exciting. Like
Yeah.
we're going to these places to find this evidence. So with Bruce Mansion, it was just right from the start and just nonstop. And
Yeah.
then when we heard the footsteps, it was a little spooky because that
Hmm.
was new for both of us. We have
Yeah.
never heard like actual, I guess present footsteps like that. And
Like
so we were
something that could
skeptical.
actually affect the environment enough to make that much noise.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was loud.
It
Like
was,
in person, it sounded like boots. Like I
Mm.
if you hear in the video when I'm in the basement, he tells me like, "Hey, there's footsteps upstairs," and I was like, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
isn't that just the caretaker?" I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even think of that it was paranormal. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was a person. So when we actually got to the first floor and we heard it on the second floor, and it's not a person,
Yeah. That's
it
really scary.
is so loud.
there's no other explanation.
Hmm.
Yeah, because you know what you heard and you know that it happened. So yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, we kind of touched on this before, but did you have anything else to add about what you think maybe the most important things are to keep in mind when you're investigating a new location? I know you try to keep your mind open. Is there anything else that we haven't covered yet that's important to keep in mind?
Actually, is be a skeptic.
Ah,
Yeah, we try to be a skeptic as much. Like you mentioned, like a lot of the TV shows now,
yeah.
they're pretty blown up to
Yes.
really treat the audience.
Yes.
So yeah, we go into these places to be as skeptic as possible to try and prove it wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I
We
like
love
that
the
approach.
evidence, but we love the truth.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah,
that's
so
that's definitely how I approach the podcast as well. So I like to hear that.
yeah, because if we made a mistake, or let's
Hmm.
say one of the cat balls goes off, we will try to
Hmm.
recreate any movement we did just to eliminate that it was not us.
Great. So testable and repeatable evidence is
Hmm.
what you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that kind of does bleed into the next question. In the podcast, I always try to take both sides. Even if I do believe something, I always talk about, why people don't believe in this thing. Like, here are all the reasons why. And then I also try to talk about, here are the reasons why people do believe in this phenomenon. So you've already touched upon it a lot, but I was just wondering, for our listeners, if you wanted to say, like, what your mindset is when you approach an investigation. And, like, are you just there to see what you see? Are you biased to believe? Like, I am biased to believe. I'm going to say that right now, but I always want the evidence. So I'll never try to convince somebody else of something. But are you going into more debunk, or are you going in to just see what you see and keep your mind open?
So I'll start.
Sure.
Kind of both. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're going in hoping we find something,
Mm-hmm.
but while we're there and the evidence comes in, we try to prove it wrong to see if it is real or not.
That's
The
great.
best way to figure it out is if it's unexplained. So, yeah, keep an open mind, but
Mm-hmm.
we're not going there to straight debunk.
Good.
We're
Yeah.
going there to search and find what we can. And then when we do find it, try to explain why.
Sure, yeah, because you can definitely be biased you can be biased as a skeptic as well. And you can fall into that trap too, where it's like, well, if you're just trying to debunk everything, then you're also going to get the results that you want to get. So yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think it's better to have an open mind, to be open to whatever it is.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
second that. I like to
Mm-hmm.
remain neutral and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of see what we see. I don't really go
Mm-hmm.
and expecting anything or not expecting anything, just to be really neutral. And if there's evidence, then we'll find it. If there's not, then there's not. And it kind of just is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard. It's hard to do. It's easy to say, but like when you're actually standing in front of like a 6,000 square foot asylum or jail or antique shop or whatever, that bias does lean because it's intimidating, right? It's all dark, it's pitch black, you just have your flashlights or your camera light. So naturally your brain will lean toward that bias. So you have to almost kind of counter it, like, no, that was me. Like, oh, was that a shadow? Nope, that was also me. Like, so you have to really try to remain neutral.
Yeah, it's really important to be aware of like what your biases are in the moment too. So
that's why we go in not trying to research the place we go. We go empty-minded to learn and figure out and find. If you do too much research, you'll put in your mind like, this is what we're going to find, and try and make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. As I know a lot of investigators do that. They do like all of the research ahead of time, and then, they're kind of primed to see certain things because they've read that other people have seen those things. So I think that's kind of good to do the investigation first and then research afterwards. Has that ever happened where, this isn't on my list of questions, but this just came into my head. Has that ever happened where you were in a place and something happened and then you did the research and your research kind of confirmed what you experienced?
Yes.
Bruce Mansion.
In Bruce Mansion.
Yeah, I kind of thought that's what you guys were talking about at the end, but how did you feel when you realized that the history of the place confirmed something that you saw?
To say flabbergasted would be an understatement. It was like it was an incredible thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to give too much away because I want people to go and watch it because it's really amazing. But yeah, that was impressive to me that you did the research afterwards and then it confirmed something that you saw. Like, that would be really exciting, like if that happened to me. So yeah, that was really cool.
And it absolutely is. It's like it's such a hard to explain experience, but it's so exciting. It literally, it's like it electrifies you. You're just like confirming that you heard this and now it's confirmed that something happened here.
Yeah, it's like validating.
Yes.
Very
and
cool.
mind-blowing for layman's terms.
Yeah, in another interview episode I did with friend of the show, Jessica, she was on and she was talking about how at her shop, because she's a machinist, she saw this man who was wearing like just strange clothes. Because at first she just thought there was a person there. But she was just thinking like, that guy's wearing an apron. That's so strange. And then she kind of just ignored it because it was a weird thing. And that's what we do sometimes. We just ignore them. And then she researched the history of the building and found out that it used to be a butcher. And she was thinking back and she's like, yeah, that's what that person looked like. They looked like a butcher. So it's like, oh, you get goosebumps like when you don't go in expecting that and then you see it and then you look into the history and then it confirms like what you saw. So
yeah, that just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, exactly. I have goosebumps right now. So yeah. Does that happen a lot when you're doing your investigations? Do you often find something like that? Or again, was Bruce very special? I'm talking about it like it's a person. Was Bruce very special?
I mean, technically he was a person. So
yeah.
No, that was pretty unique to that location. But I mean, we've had other phenomena at other locations, but that to be like kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, where it kind of revealed itself.
Yeah.
That was pretty unique to that location.
That's really cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so I guess we're kind of wrapping up here. Is there anything else you'd like our listeners to know? Any thoughts you'd like to share? Anything else you want to say about any of the investigations you've done? Whatever you'd like to talk about now.
When I wanted to touch back on like different types of ghosts and what that means. So touching quickly back on residual haunts.
Yeah.
I had phrased this better when we were on our pause. But basically, I almost wouldn't categorize it as like a ghost or a spirit because, I mean, think about like a hospital or a prison. Those will naturally just have those negative energies, and I think that's all that is. It's just the imprint of a really heavy energy. But something very cool, it wasn't necessarily like confirming after the fact. It was just something, we have to post this footage. We did post it on our TikTok, but we kind of played hide and seek through the sweet box with a spirit. at an
Oh.
antique store. And that was also crazy. So
Yeah,
that was validating in a
Yeah.
whole different realm because it like happened in the moment and it was so electric and so alive. Even the spirit comes through the spirit box and says like, "This is creepy," or something of that
Oh my
nature.
goodness.
So it was almost like our living energy and this deceased energy was kind of also baffled that we could do this and that we could interact with one another.
Oh, that's so interesting. So they were like as surprised as you that
Yes.
oh wow. That made me a little bit speechless just thinking about that for a second.
Yeah, actually experiencing that was
Yeah.
kind of like a once in a lifetime phenomena, and that was incredible.
I always wonder, if intelligent haunts are, the actual personality of the person that they used to be or whatever, just like what an existence. Like what is that in existence? Like what must that be like? It seems like it would be quite negative and sad, but maybe that's just, yeah, maybe I'm projecting or something my opinion on the situation. Maybe for them it's just like us and we're like the ghosts to them or something. Like I don't really know. It's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around, but it's
I've actually
something I like
heard,
to listen to. Mhm.
yeah, I've actually heard that theory that we're kind of the ghost to them, but I
Mhm.
also believe in a theory where time doesn't exist for them.
Mm.
So it's not like they've been just sitting in the darkness for 100 years.
Mhm.
It's different.
I hope
And
so. That sounds much better.
like this was not my investigation. This actually was my father's investigation. So
Okay.
like I said, my whole family does this, but he was by himself in a cemetery and he had his sweep box and he was looking for graves and it gave him instructions and a name.
Wow.
And I believe the name was Josh. And so he found his grave. And when he got there, he had asked him a few questions and he got intelligent responses. And I think my dad responded with, like, it's like 2024. You've been dead for about 200 years, my friend.
Wow.
And the person responded with a cuss word. And they were like, and it was almost kind of like, oh my gosh, I've been gone that long. Like, so that kind of reinforced my theory of time does not exist the way it does for us as it does for them.
Interesting. Well, that definitely comforts me because for some reason I think about these sort of things and I'm just like, no, that would be awful. Like I don't want that to happen to me. But at the same time, we have no idea. We have no idea what's going on. It could
Oh.
be something we could never understand in our current state, that sort of thing. So, all right. Was there anything else that you'd like our listeners to know about what you do or anything else you'd like to touch base on?
So I guess yeah, we investigate
Mhm.
because we have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And we like to show people who can't really do it themselves.
Yeah.
But for people who do want to start and try,
Mhm.
just be careful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unexplained, and just like there's good people, there's
Mhm.
not so nice people.
Mhm.
It's very much the same with spirits. Not so much that they're going to physically harm you,
Mhm.
but they're just going to try spooking you more.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of these places that you do go look for evidence are very old, rundown places. So they could be very dangerous. Like I know of quite a few of the places that we've been in the attics. You really have
Yeah.
to watch your footstep.
Don't
Mhm.
fall through the floor.
Yes.
That has happened.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
does happen.
Yeah, that's good advice to just, be careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
know where you're going. A
Mhm.
lot of these places are off limits to public.
Mm.
So just,
Mold exposure.
yeah.
Yeah. Environmental hazards of haunted
Yes.
houses.
Very much
Sounds
That's
so.
so
so
silly,
true.
but like
It's very
it
serious.
really is it's a hazard.
Yeah, so
And
true.
just don't dive into something you don't know.
Yeah.
There is very dark energy out there, although it's
Mhm.
extremely rare to run across.
Okay, well that's good.
If you're trying to bring it out, just be cautious and know what you're doing beforehand.
Mhm.
It's not something to just toy with.
Yeah, I mean, I would avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, we do too. But
That's good.
yeah, it's very hard to come by. Yeah, you have to be doing stuff you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I'll say that. There you will see if we kind of had this we've had this experience a
We get
couple times.
the
Mhm.
demon word a lot.
But honestly, 99% of the time when the word demon comes through on a
Mhm.
sweep box, it's not. It's like
A
a
trumpet
scare
band.
tactic just to
Sure.
get you out of their space.
Sure.
These places, they're home now.
Yeah.
So like we're invading it when we go there. They're gonna try and spook us out, so we leave their space.
I mean, that
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, we would do that. right? If
Right.
we were in that situation.
Mhm.
I remember I had this really oddly heated debate with somebody once. I don't even know how I got on the topic, but I said something along the lines of, well, if my house is haunted, like what gives me the right to try to exorcise the spirit because they were here first, like,
Yeah.
and that
That is
person
fair.
got like upset and they're like, well, because you own the house. And I'm like, yeah, but they were here
They-
first,
Yes. Like, that's their house too. You have to kind of coexist.
Yeah, so it's like I fall down these rabbit holes and I think way too much about these topics, but it's just like,
That's a good
yeah.
thought. It's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably one of the old ghost hunting shows that said something like ghosts were people too, and I think that just always stuck with me. And it's just like, well, just imagine, that you're stuck in your house that you used to live in, and now somebody else lives in your house. It's just like you're just supposed to be fine with that. I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
said, I overthink things. So
No, but it
That
makes
makes sense.
perfect sense. It's no different of like these abandoned places, and then all of a sudden, random strangers come in big groups with strange lights every now and
Yeah.
again. That'd be a
Yeah.
weird phenomenon. If I was a ghost, I'd be like, "What is happening?"
Exactly. And if you're sentient enough to prank people, I think that's hilarious. So
That
just keep,
happens a lot.
It does.
yeah.
We've got that quite a few times in some
Oh, that's
places.
cool.
They'll tell us to go to a certain spot, and then we go there, nothing. And
You'll hear like "gotcha" over the sweep or something crazy like that. It's the most unusual thing, but
That's hilarious.
some of them do maintain their sense of humor.
Well, that's nice. That's good. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else. So if you don't, we can kind of wrap up. So how can people find you, get in touch with you? What information would you like me to share with the listeners today? Anything you want to promote? Anything you have coming up?
I guess we have a lot of ways people can get in touch with us. Social media, you can
Mhm.
do our Soul Luna Holistics on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. On YouTube is Soul Luna Investigations if people are
Great.
interested in viewing the full length videos. TikTok is great if you just want to get like the little juicy snippets. We're always available by email if people want us to come look at their personal home or somewhere of
great.
that nature.
reach out.
Yeah, or just reach out and just chat with us. We're super friendly. We're super nice. So
Hopefully that's apparent after this episode.
we're really, we just love talking about this stuff. It's something we do all the time. So we're always happy to have this conversation with anyone.
Just
A
little
lot more
bit.
coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to not using that cat toy because I'm not using it, to seeing you guys use it. That sounds really cool. So I'm really looking forward to that. Well, thank you
If you
guys so
want to,
much.
just reach out.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on to Paranormal Optimist. I love doing these types of interviews where I can kind of take a back seat and just let you guys talk. So yeah, thanks so much for collaborating with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Thank you for having us on your show. It's amazing. I love listening to it. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, it's been incredible.
In this two-part conversation, I sat down with Kayla and Jacob of Soluna Investigations to explore the fascinating world of modern paranormal field investigation. In part one, we got to know the team behind Soluna and uncover their investigative methods. We learned how they prepare for fieldwork and the tools and reasoning that guide their approach. We also discussed their experience at the historic Bruce Mansion in Michigan and dove deep into thought-provoking questions about the true nature of ghosts. In part two, we continued the conversation with practical insights and advice for those curious about fieldwork. Kayla and Jacob shared their tips for getting started, what every investigator should keep in mind, and how their personal outlook on the paranormal shapes the way they explore the unknown. Both parts of this interview offered a rare glimpse into the science, spirit, and curiosity that drive today's ghost hunters. Again, I really cannot thank Soluna Investigations enough for joining me in this two-part episode of Paranormal Optimist. We will definitely have to collaborate again sometime and keep this conversation going. If you have a story to tell, an episode idea, or if you'd like to join me as a guest, send me an email at paranormaloptimist@gmail.com. As always, you can find all the links to follow the show and all the places to listen in the episode description. Today, you can also find out where to find and how to follow Soluna Investigations. Check them out on TikTok and YouTube and follow them on all the best time-wasting media. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Seriously, send me an email. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Paranormal Optimists. I'm Stephanie, your host, researcher, writer, and producer. The music you heard today comes royalty-free from Purple Planet Music. As always, and until next time, believe a little, doubt a lot, but never stop wondering.